Hey everybody, this is just a quick video about my recent trip to Jamaica. I left from Portland and traveled through Atlanta and Montego Bay to work in a little clinic in Mango Valley, Jamaica. We were hosted by Beaches Resort in Boscobel on the north side of the island, and it was an absolutely incredible week. Our team had 48 volunteers. 13 of us were doctors, 14 of us were opticians, and the rest of us were all non-optical volunteers who just learned how to do everything. It was truly amazing to me how we all just came together and made everything flow really well. It was absolutely incredible to work alongside these incredible people, and I'm very honored to call them my friends now. Every morning we would pile into the van and be taken up to Mango Valley. When we arrived on the Sunday afternoon, church was still in session, but we were welcomed by Pastor Cinderella. Our team leader, Stephen, quickly got us organized, and we rearranged the church so that it was ready for our clinic that was to start early Monday morning. And when we arrived on Monday morning, there were already so many people waiting to be seen. We had a team of people who were intake, and it was their responsibility to get the patient's names and address and phone number, and then we would do a little bit of a brief history for health reasons. And then this is how the clinic was set out. The patient's first stop was in the nurse's station, and we were taking blood sugars and blood pressure and making sure that they were healthy. Several of the people on our team were nurses, and by the end of our clinic, we had performed over 1,000 health screenings for diabetes, hypertension, and glaucoma. After the nurses' station, they would head over to the acuities area where we would test their vision to find out how well they could already see. And then they would come over to this area where we would do tonometry and put dilating drops in. The tonometry was particularly important because we needed to measure their pressure. There was a number of people in the clinic who needed to receive medication for glaucoma, which is increased pressure inside the eye. We also had a handheld autorefractor where we were able to measure what prescription they might possibly need. We would also read any glasses that they already had to find out what prescription they were used to wearing. At one point, we lost power and had to use a flashlight for our lensometer. After tonometry, they would be seen by the optometrists, and they were looking really closely at the retina and the optic nerve, checking for diabetic retinopathy, making sure that everything was healthy. A very high percentage of our patients screened were diabetic or had diabetic retinopathy, and we were able to help them with that. After pathology, they would come over here to refraction, and the doctors would figure out what prescriptions they needed. In the area of Jamaica that we were in, there's no public health optometrists, and only a few public health ophthalmologists in rural areas with a population of almost 3 million. The cost of a pair of prescription glasses is over a month's wages for the average Jamaican. So simply stated, if you don't have the money, you don't get an eye exam or glasses. One of our patients in this clinic was nearsighted, which is something that you'd be able to easily get glasses for in the developing world, but she couldn't get a job because she couldn't see past the end of her arm, and we were able to get her glasses. which is life-changing. Those were the stories that made this entire trip so rewarding. We were changing lives for the better. If there was no further need for pathology, everyone came over to this table where we had over-the-counter readers available for those that needed them. Every single patient was also offered sunglasses, and we absolutely need more sunglasses because we need way more frames that are going to fit the youth in the area that we were in. Up on the stage, we had a second area of pathology where our ophthalmologists were able to really give some good counsel and medication for our patients with severe conditions. One of our ophthalmologists brought an incredible piece of equipment with him to perform panretinal photocoagulation laser treatment. Very simply, PRP laser treatment is for people who have diabetic retinopathy, and we're able to laser the diseased part of the retina to prevent the eye from continuing to bleed internally. And then once our patients were done upstairs, they brought their completed prescriptions downstairs to where all of the opticians were ready and waiting to take their measurements so that we could make some glasses for them. By the end of the clinic, we had distributed 837 pairs of reading glasses and 1,862 pairs of sunglasses, since every single patient was offered sunglasses. Downstairs, we measured for 63 pairs of prefabricated new prescription glasses that we were able to dispense in simple spherical single vision prescriptions. And then we measured 648 more patients for their custom-made pairs that will be made in the United States and dispensed by another team in February. Through a generous donation from Esseler, we had 38 different frames that we could offer our patients, both for kids and adults, and we were able to take their measurements for either single vision or lined bifocals, and those were the measurements that we're taking back to the United States, where the glasses will be made and then brought back in February.
Thumbs up, thumbs up!
The people of Mango Valley were so gracious, but at the end of the day, we would jump into our van and make the trek back to the resort, and we did get to experience some of the other amazing places in Jamaica after we got done with clinic every evening. We had an amazing driver who taught me all about ackee and saltfish. We stopped at a Bob Marley pub, and then we would pile out of the van and enjoy the resort. We also got to experience releasing some turtles as part of the turtle reservation area that was really close to our resort, and that was a lot of fun, very rewarding, and an incredible experience. So I named my little guy Donatello and watched him head off to the surf, and hopefully he'll come back in about 14 years. I also got my hair braided, which was very cool. Incredible work by a lady who had a business down on the beach. And I got to spend some time just enjoying the amazing resort that we were hosted by. Jamaica is amazing, and I am really looking forward to going back one day and maybe bringing you with me.